What is going on, fight fans? So today we find out that Canelo Alvarez is no longer going to be undisputed at the 168-pound division. We just talked about the IBF stripping Usyk, but then halting that because of Usyk's petition to fight one more time for the undisputed title against Tyson Fury, and then that subsequently that petition has appeared to pull through via Eddie Hearn's interview, where he was informed by the IBF that his fighter Hrgovic will not be able to fight for the IBF title when he fights Daniel Dubois. So he will have to wait until all of this is done between Usyk and Fury, which is good news because we kind of want to see Fury versus Usyk too for the undisputed title. I mean, give Fury the chance and the motivation that you had and he had at the same time. Well, I don't know if he cares that much, but I know Usyk cared, and I think it's a bigger story anyways if it is for undisputed. So that's cool. That got cleaned up. Usyk will retain the title. Usyk will remain undisputed. But someone who's been undisputed since November of 2021 is no longer undisputed, and that is Canelo Alvarez, because IBF is their turn to mandate who he should fight, and he's like, who, that guy? Oh, hell no, I'm not fighting him. I'm good. I'd rather not be undisputed. So who's the guy that Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to fight? Let's go ahead and take a look at this via BoxingScene.com. So here you can see Canelo Alvarez set to relinquish IBF title, no longer undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez's reign as undisputed super middleweight champion is on the brink of ending, with International Boxing Federation, the IBF, rules separating the sport's most popular fighter from one of his four 168-pound belts. And then we move on to the next paragraph. According to multiple sources who spoke to Boxing Scene Tuesday, Alvarez, we know his record, intends to relinquish his IBF belt rather than participate in an ordered June 6 purse bid at IBF offices in New Jersey for a fight against that sanctioning body's mandatory contender, little known William Skull of Cuba. Little known is an understatement. The man is not known at all. He doesn't have any notable wins against any notable fighters. He just simply ranked in the IBF. He's ranked as #1 contender. He doesn't even have a high KO percentage to boot to sell, oh, well, this guy's a powerful guy. He can knock you out. No, he can't even knock you out. He doesn't have the experience, and he doesn't even have the power. But somehow, IBF doesn't care about marketing. I'm convinced that they do not care about marketing, which, to be fair, it's a good way to protect fighters, where if they just rank up and they do what they're supposed to do, if they put their name in the hat to be part of the ranking system, and then they do what they need to do to make it to #1 contender, to be fair to them, they deserve it. Unfortunately, this is a very unique sport that's not just boxing, it is also prize fighting. And that's an important element to this sport, because the marketing needs to be behind it. Canelo was willing to fight who they were going to mandate. I believe it was the WBA, Gilberto Mendoza, the president of the WBA. He was going to mandate Edgar Berlanga, as Canelo has fought all of his mandatories, but this is the first time where he's like, you know what, I'd rather just not even be undisputed. Go ahead and get that Skull, William Skull from Cuba. I'm good. I don't need to fight you, my man. That thing will do like 200,000 pay-per-views tops. I'm not rocking with that. So he's willing to fight Edgar Berlanga, who was his WBA mandatory, but IBF jumped in and said, Daryl Peoples, who's the president of the IBF, he said that no, it's their turn to assert their position of who he's going to fight next. And if he doesn't fight them, and you know how strict the IBF is, they're more strict than WBA, WBC, and WBO combined, they're going to go ahead and strip Canelo Alvarez of his title. And he will essentially, there we go right here, since November 6th of 2021, he will no longer be undisputed at 168 pounds. That is a bummer. And there has to be a perfect middle ground for the fans and for these these sanctioning bodies. You gotta figure something out. Because no one, and I mean absolutely no one, wants to see William Skull, who has no notable wins, no power, nothing, absolutely nothing to intrigue you to see the fight. At least Edgar Berlanga is somewhat known, right? We know who he is. He has power, quote unquote. That's like his thing. He had 12, 13, 14 first round knockouts in a row or whatever he did. So he has something. He's also Puerto Rican. So it's the Puerto Rican Mexican battle. All of that stuff was, is 100 times better than a William Skull. Is it better than a David Benavidez? Absolutely not. That's who we want to see him fight. David Benavidez or Terrence Crawford in some sort of a coming together fight or whatever. Those are the only fights that to me matter, right, for Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo Alvarez, to be fair, he's fought all these people and he has a pretty stellar resume, but still, this is uncalled for, because even for him, we don't want to see a William Skull fight. Now, this calls into question, is Canelo just fed up, doesn't care to be undisputed, or is this name just too egregious for Canelo to want to do this, to fulfill his mandatory challenge and fight a William Skull? I don't know, man, but I think he's doing the right decision. Not being undisputed is worth. It sucks that he can't be undisputed because he deserves it. Clearly, he could beat this guy, in my opinion. But at least, we get a better fight. I would take Edgar Berlanga before I take William Skull a million times. But please, if there's any boxing god out there, give us David Benavidez. Somehow, give us David Benavidez. I know it's not looking likely, but I'm just praying and hoping to the boxing gods that somehow we get a Benavidez fight. And it's looking like maybe a Terrence Crawford fight is possible, right? Because it looks like the Turkey Al-Sheikh is setting that up with Saudi Arabia in terms of Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. If that happens, I'll be super excited for that. But really, the true fight, for the boxing fan, for the casual fan, for everybody, even everyone in between, the true fight that everybody's been waiting for, probably after Fury Usyk has been completed, the most anticipated fight, I would say, that could be made right now in boxing is Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. So just before anybody starts jumping the gun and saying, "Oh, he's not going to fight his mandatory," who could it be? His mandatory is William Skull, so you can't blame him. However, IBF is too strict, and there's got to be some sort of a system that bridges the gap between fans, viewers, prize fighting, and sanctioning body mandatories. There's got to be a gap there. There's got to be. Usyk was almost not undisputed if he didn't do that petition for a Hrgovic fight. Hrgovic is going to fight Daniel Dubois, and then Daniel Dubois could have beaten him. And then for Usyk to get his title back, he would have to fight Daniel Dubois, who he already beat. There's got to be a perfect middle ground. There has to be, because this is crazy. Anyways, what do you guys think about this? Canelo is set to no longer be the IBF champion, which means he will no longer be undisputed. He's been undisputed since 2021. The man's not going to be undisputed anymore. That's kind of a bummer, but I prefer it if it means that he would have to fight William Skull, and I don't think he could wiggle his way out of this one. IBF, again, they're super strict. They did this super exception for Usyk, but I do not think they're going to do this exception for Canelo Alvarez. That's just my opinion. It already looks like this has been pushed forward because Canelo will not appear at the June 6th purse bid. Therefore, IBF will vacate the IBF sanctioning body will vacate the IBF title. All right, anyways, guys, that is the news so far on this whole Canelo thing. This is the news that just dropped. Let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about this? Should Canelo be fighting David Benavidez anyways? None of this should matter because Benavidez should be his next opponent. Or should he fight William Skull? I think no one's gonna say yes, but you never know. There might be a William Skull fan down there in the comment section. If you want me to break down who has become the new GOAT in recent time, go ahead and click this video right here, and I'll see you in that video. Peace out, guys.